Welcome to the Girl Talk Mental Health. Girl Talk Mental Health dares to go where others won't. We unpack the hard truths about mental health, dissect trending topics, and challenge the stereotypes and stigmas holding us back. From navigating the 6 dimensions of wellness to redefining social norms, this is more than a discussion. It's a revolution in how we care for our minds and souls. Ready for bold, honest conversations that spark change? Let's dive in. It's time for real talk with real impact.
The holidays are painted as the most wonderful time of the year. But for many of us, it's the most triggering time. Grief resurfaces, loneliness deepens, and emotional exhaustion creeps in. That's why this week on Girl Talk Mental Health, I'm sitting down with a special guest, Nicole Sylvester, to talk about what nobody wants to say out loud. I feel broken when everyone else is beaming. So, welcome to the stage, our special guest.
Hello.
Hi, Nicole. So, tell the
Hello.
audience a little bit about you.
So my name is Nicole Hope Sylvester, and I actually work with people in stress and understanding stress. And I you're really on point when you talk about people kind of hiding all of their internal stress during the holidays. So I love that you bring that up. And it's something that I think we've almost set ourselves up for. And stress really is something that we have all set ourselves up for. That is actually why all stress occurs, is because we already have these kind of beliefs in our minds about how things are going to go. And so it kind of like gets our body already hyper prepared for things. So going into the holidays, people will have probably the most stress, because stress can be good and suboptimal. So stress can be like, oh, I'm super excited. That's called eustress. And then stress can be the kind we're normally referring to, which is the like, I have to go, go, go. And this, I've got to think about a million things and show up for people and be on point all the time and never be sad because the holidays are about magic and all of that. No pressure.
Christmas carols and the turkey and the good smells and, family time. Yeah, but no, but yeah.
Yep, exactly. And because of that, we're setting our we're setting ourselves up to not really enjoy it, at least, and or let's say this, leave the holidays so exhausted that I'll literally talk to clients and they'll just be like, yeah, I can't come in for at least 2 to 3 weeks after, into January, because I'm recovering from,
Okay.
you
Holiday
know,
blues. Yeah.
yeah, from November and December, and they're trying to like pick up their schedules and get back into routine. I actually taught first grade for 10 years, and we almost had to completely restart, like as if it was the first day of school when we came back in January, because like there
Yeah.
was so much so much disorder, and there's very little routine even during the holidays, despite like obviously not going to school. But so it was really challenging for little 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds to come back and be like, yeah, this is what we do now. And so they were just
I bet.
all bouncing off the walls.
So you've worked with kids, you've worked with women. And so when you think about them navigating the grief and the trauma and the depression for years, and really 1 year, then you get to the end of the year, why do you think the holidays often magnify pain and those stressors that we've managed to handle the rest of the year?
Oh, good question. That is because all of that wonderful emotion that gives us so much data is often kind of smashed down into our bodies. So we ignore it. And when we stay busy throughout the rest of the year, especially in things that maybe are a little more balanced or more fun, without the extra pressure, it's easiest for us to kind of contain it. I kind of refer to people as emotional hoarders.
Mhm.
So
That's
we,
that's good. Yeah.
you we hold all of the negative, like the grief and the pain and physical as well as emotional pain, and we often try to ignore it or quick fix it, which generally means that we are just shoving it down and then trying to distract ourselves from it.
Right.
And so when we hit the holidays, I kind of refer to people like a balloon. Over the course of the year, you're filling that balloon up with all of that stuff you're ignoring. So the balloon gets fuller and fuller and fuller. Yeah, exactly. And
Boom.
so, yeah, and then you hit the holidays, and again, stress is all things, good and bad, And but there's no more space in the balloon. And so what happens? The balloon explodes. When I do this, I actually show this for children and for clients. And honestly, it's so perfect because as I'm blowing up that balloon and I keep watching it, right? Because I show that your ability to be flexible also gets minimized as you're
Yeah.
holding on to all of this stuff. And so I start my actual nervous system starts freaking out. I'm all, how much more can I blow into this balloon before it pops, right? And that's how like absolutely perfect it is as an example. And so there you go, right? So we're these full balloons, and then we get to the holidays, and you're just like, you're right on the edge.
Mhm. I often say it's good that you use that balloon analogy, but I just tell people that it snowballs. Like you take it all year long and it snowballs and snowballs and snowballs. And then by the time the end of the year with the family events, the money problems, the work, and then it's just so huge that it's hard for people to break it back down, after the holidays or whatever, to think they're going back to kind of like a little normalcy. And then it's the new year and the new you. So hey.
Yeah, exactly. And then no one does anything about it. Just a reboot. We could technically, now that you bring that up, we could technically use New Year, New Me. That is part of what I teach people in my program. But you do generally need to get rid of the old stuff. But there is a space, one approach where you can just decide that you are now this, and this person isn't worried about all of those things. I don't know how long that would work. Generally, we have to do more processing before we get to that. But technically, I do believe if you were that adamant about it and you worked out a lot to kind of relieve the physical, I like to really tell people there is a physical piece to stress that lasts beyond when you're feeling it in that moment. It
Mhm.
does get stuck in the body, whether you want to refer to it as energy or like a neuropeptide that gets stuck inside the fascia or into wherever, someplace in the body. We are actually, in a very physiological way, storing this
Mhm.
emotion, trauma, whatever you want to refer to it as. And so at some point, your body just can't hold anymore.
Yeah, that's true. So since you mentioned that, what you think are some self-care strategies that actually work when someone is too emotionally drained or overloaded to even sometimes it's hard to get out of bed. And especially during the holidays when there's this pressure to show up.
Well, then it gets real curious because I think one of the reasons the holidays is so challenging for people is that we sacrifice our own well being for others. And we think that we've lost track of what the holidays are. They've become skewed. And, I don't have any kind of like cynical opinion about that, but it is a truth. And in that truth, we have just made it seem like it has to be this insane, everything has to be grandiose.
Mhm.
And so, and it should come with some sacrifice because that really proves that you care or something. I don't know. It's a weird,
Right, right.
I don't know
You
who
have
came
to
up with
like
this
put yourself
one.
on a cutting block to for everyone else to enjoy. And if you don't, then you're not being a good host or person or hostess. And I like
Yeah.
to think of it as you're being strong, but you're silently suffering.
Yes. And so I feel like if everyone, my kind of, not to go too far off, but my belief is that world peace would literally start if everyone took responsibility for their own health and well being.
Hmm.
Period. If we all loved ourselves fully, took care of our needs when we needed them, listen to our bodies, listen to our hearts, and all of that, we'd actually take perfect care of ourselves and would have the space to show up for others whenever they needed it, and world peace, because we wouldn't need anyone to be worse than us or anything. So coming back to that, I would like to apply that same concept. If we take care of ourselves during the holidays, which means saying no, it means saying no. I said no to someone last night and I was like, sorry, I'm exhausted and I can't. And inside me, I was like, oh, like this is kind of this or that, and all these beliefs, but they are just beliefs. And we really do need to take care of ourselves, or else we won't be there later to have fun with friends. So the first thing would be to really ask yourself, what is essential for you to be doing? Like, what is a, I have to attend this event, or whatever it is, pick those, and then everything else is kind of icing, and then decide whether it feels good for you, and really decide, frankly, whether you get to be your authentic self at those locations. And that's the other piece of it, I think, that we kind of allude to, is that when we show up at these places, we don't feel great and we have to pretend like we feel differently. That's, again, pushing down what feels bad. That's emotional hoarding again. That's a sacrifice for others. And I think we should all have compassion and grace for those who can't show up fully in every event. Or I just reading the holidays are just about spending time with people you care about, period. The end. It's not about the food, and it's not about the gifts, and it's not about what you're doing. It's just like, can we go have some fun? To me, it's like we've picked some days during the year to remind everybody to go have fun, and then somebody decided to make it real
Yeah,
chaotic.
the perfection type of thing, and the competition of whose holiday is more beautiful or more festive. Meanwhile, you've drained yourself to the core.
Yes. And you know what's interesting? That a lot of the people who are doing the big things, it's because that's what really matters to them. Like, they're doing it, and it's everything in life is about our perspective. So we can see someone putting a lot of time and effort into something, and they may just really enjoy it. Like, that just may be the thing that they look forward to all year. So that's why it looks so robust and big and bright. And then if we think we need to compete with that, but it's not something that's aligned for us or feels authentic to us, then it's a chore now and it's a sacrifice. So I think that's the piece of it, is understanding what our perspective is, and trying to understand what other people's perspective is. That's where.
So that brings us to our commercial, but we're going to jump back into that perspective thing, because when we come back, I want to talk about how to set boundaries, because when you have those different perspectives and then they're probably not aligning with someone else's, or you miscuing them, then what do you do with that? How do you set boundaries with those? So we'll be right back after our commercial break, and we're going to dive right into those boundaries. Y'all stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We got some more information for you about how to overcome those holiday blues. So stay tuned.
You weren't meant to break. You were set apart. What if your deepest pain was the birthplace of your greatest purpose? Meet Gingerbread, a child caught in the chaos of her mother's depression and suicide attempts. She never asked for trauma, shame, or to feel invisible, but she found something greater. Set Apart, the journey to find hope through loneliness, shame, and death is more than a book. It's the breakthrough you didn't know you needed. If you've ever said, "I'm fine," when you were falling apart. If you've ever thought, "This story isn't for me," it is. Don't let fear, excuses, or busyness rob you of healing. This book will shatter the silence, stir your soul, and remind you, you were never forgotten. You were set apart. Set Apart, the journey to find hope in times of shame, loneliness, and death, by author Virginia Dale Manning. Available now, because hope can't wait.
All right, welcome back to the second half of Girl Talk Mental Health. We are here with Miss Nicole Sylvester. She gave us some good nuggets about self-care and how to contain your emotions and what is really happening when those holiday emotions are going overboard. So, Nicole, How can we set some emotional boundaries with family members who don't understand mental health and just expect us to smile and be grateful all the time?
Well, that's a big loaded topic because I'll do the honest thing and tell you what I really think, and then people can take that information and negotiate it for themselves. It is come to my understanding at age 48 that really we need to come back to doing what feels good to us,
Mm-hmm.
because us sacrificing for others, and here's a good thing to understand: nobody feels good around us when we're faking it because of a nervous system situation. So we can just basic nervous system 101. My nervous system and someone else's nervous system can read each other, and I can look all frilly and fun on the outside, but on if I'm a mess on the inside, they know it. And then it just seems weird because they can feel the mess, but then they look at the outside and then they're all, something's weird with that person. That's what our brains think, at least. So I think it's also a disservice to ourselves to constantly have to fake who we are. And I think the more that we do that, the more we fill up that balloon full of muck, full of air before it blows up. And so my invitation, though it sounds really harsh, is to really sit and think about what relationships are to you and why you engage in them. I mean, I know that sounds intense, but that really is so much of it. Who are you willing to be around? Who are the people who have the most suffering during the holidays are the people who tend to be the most empathic to begin with, meaning they feel everybody else's stuff anyway. So it's so hard to get rid of all the emotions that get inside. So who do you want to spend your time with by choice? And start gently, slowly figuring out ways to not be available.
And it's harder to not be yourself. Like you have to always try to keep it together and keep this fake facade and this fake image. So that is very, very hard. And that's why people get so exhausted and depressed or whatever, because they've worn themselves out trying to be something or someone that they're not. So be free, be yourself, love yourself.
Yes, love yourself. That would be, if you ever want to think of the best gift you could give to yourself, the best self-care tool of the holidays would be to figure out how you can have a relationship with your body and with your heart and with your own mind and with your soul, depending on how you want to, you know, categorize all of that. But that really is that. That's the foundation of all Christmas miracles or whatever, is self-love.
Nurturing. Yeah, that's the foundation of the holidays is the nurture, but we nurture everything and everyone else but ourselves.
Yes. So
Mm.
maybe the quick tip would be, here's a really good way I've explained to people, especially for those who are givers who tend to be the ones that are the most depleted. It's not about saying that you are more important than other people, though I'm going to tell you that you are, and everyone is to themselves. However, an easier way for us to digest that is, I am equally important to everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And if we say that, that shifts a lot of it, because if I say my joy is equally as important to this person's joy, I'm more likely to take a step. I'm going to meet my needs first to make sure that it's balanced.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a game changer. Maybe I'm going to go a little bit late. Maybe I'm just going to pick up food at the store instead of making it at home. Maybe I'm going to find ways to support my needs and create and carve out and hold that sacred time for myself, so that I can actually show up as a better version of myself at the party. I won't even have to fake it.
Mm-hmm.
So figuring out how to put your needs equal to everyone else's
That's
would be
good.
the
That's
best
a good nugget.
tool.
Equal. You are equal to everyone else. Well, we are at my favorite part, or the listener's favorite part, because they nominated this as their favorite part of the show, and that is the spotlight question. So, are you ready?
Sure, go for it. I'm afraid now, but yes, go.
All right, ready or not, here it is. Okay, so what's one mindset shift or action step you believe could transform how we approach mental health and wellness in our daily lives?
Paying attention to the data that our body gives us in real time. meaning when I feel sensations or emotions in my body, I'm going to pay attention and try to understand it. And that's what we often forget to do. We just
Mm,
kind of mindset it and think it and believe it, and it needs to be both.
that's good. Like self-care, all of the things, the boundaries.
I
What did
would
you say?
say
Saying you're equal to the other people. Yeah.
I would say actually just really listening to the body. Like, oh, when I think about this, I feel tension in my shoulders and my chest. I
Mm-hmm,
wonder what that means. Is
mm-hmm,
that about this situation or is it about the past? And then I get to get curious about it and take action when I figure that out. Oh, even when I wake up in the morning, my back is sore. That's information. So we
mm-hmm.
hold all that tension and tightness in our bodies from stress and emotions and all of that, and we kind of keep thinking the body's just this thing, like a car that we take to the doctor, like the auto shop, and someone else is responsible for it. But the more that we honor it as actual language, I call it body intellect. Like the body has its own knowledge. And if we start listening and paying attention to it more, we can remedy a lot of problems a lot faster. So that's my kind of my insight on that.
Right, that's good. And self-reflect on the body though. Not just people always think when they have to self-reflect is the journaling and what's going on in my mind, but also that body and mind connection. That's good. Okay. Well, let the audience know where they can connect with you and if you have some type of special offer or what you have going on these holidays.
These holidays, the holidays, DAZE.
Yeah.
Um, so I have a freebie that I will be offering. It's 3 tools to use for stress release during any time of the year, but they're fast and easy. And there's a bunch of other stuff in there. Like I think there's even like essential oils you can use, all these things to down regulate, which means to relax the nervous system so that you can feel more calm around other people and actually enjoy the holidays. So that'll be in there. And I do have a website. I've been really focusing on these. They're 2.5 hour sessions where we encompass, like, we overcome a big belief and allow the body to heal some of the briefcases of emotions that are in there attached to it so that it sticks, because that's the key piece. If I can let the body know that I've made a new decision about the way things go, then we can make bigger change in our life. It's that mind body piece that allows us for bigger transformation. So that's one of the things that I'm currently offering that is going really well for people, and we do it on Zoom or in person. It's fun.
Okay. And what's your website?
It is stressfluent.com.
Okay.
Exactly how that's spelled. Easy.
Exactly what it says. And if not, check out the bio. It'll be in her bio.
Correct.
It's attached to this show. Okay, so
Yeah.
any final things you want to tell the audience before we go? We really enjoyed this conversation. You've given us so many nuggets to help us, especially over this for the last few months of the year, so that you can enjoy the holidays, people. Enjoy the holidays.
Yeah. Enjoy the holidays and really try, that word embodiment, which I struggled to understand forever because no one really explained it. It just means be you. Listen to your body, listen to your heart, listen to your mind, listen to your soul, and start getting really curious about how you can love on yourself really hard. And then you will enjoy the holidays, and everyone around you will enjoy the holidays because you'll be like a big shining ball of light.
Okay. Well, whether you are struggling this holiday or know someone who is, you can be the voice so many silent, struggling people, the voice that they need during this time of the year. And how can you help? Hey, first go connect with Nicole and get your embodiment together, okay? But you can also subscribe and share this message of love and help others to
Mm.
reach their goals to make impact. Because our goal is to reach 2 million people within the next 3 years. And your input, you sharing, your caring will help that goal into the 2026. So thank you, Nicole. We want to welcome you back next year. Hopefully, we'll see your shiny face to help us
Mm.
with more embodiment next year. But thank you, and y'all have a great day. See you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for Girl Talk Mental Health. Remember, your mental health is your wealth. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to at Virginia Del Manning.